answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
When it's the Clydesdales, it's about Budweiser.
Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When it's the Rockies, it's about Coors. Famous beers available at a grocery store, mini-mart, or nearby bar. Now comes Cereal, the beer almost no one has heard of, for sale almost nowhere except marijuana shops in Colorado. Because this is beer with the alcohol taken out and pot put in, created by Keith Villa and his wife Jody.
We're excited, number one, that our dream is coming true, but number two, to offer people a true alternative to alcohol.
It starts when Villa mixes beer in a building behind his house with his special recipe.
I used a mixture of blood orange peel and Valencia orange peel to get a very nice fruity taste and smell.
But he's no ordinary backyard brewer. He got a PhD in brewing science by studying in Belgium. And while at Molson Coors, he invented Blue Moon that made craft beer mainstream. So when he makes a beer prediction, best pay attention.
We honestly think that Ceria is going to kickstart the cannabis craze and turn it into a legitimate industry that no longer has that stigma associated with it.
It starts at this Denver facility with bags of marijuana. So if I walked into a pot shop, I'd probably buy something that looks a lot like this.
Very similar.
The pot is crushed to dust, then liquefied under the watchful eye of Eric Knudsen, CEO of the production company CannCore. From the liquid, they extract the THC. That's what creates a high. Finally, in the vats, the THC is infused into the non-alcohol beer. When you close your eyes and imagine, who's buying that? Who's your audience?
The first place I look is right here. It's a perfect product for myself. This gives you an alternative to drinking alcohol.
But the complicated chemistry may be the easiest part. Much harder is marketing it. Under Colorado law, it can only be sold at a pot shop and only consumed in private, like inside a home. But even so, says Stephanie Wilson, editor-in-chief of Sensi magazine, it's a product Colorado may like a lot. Are people going to really buy it?
Oh gosh, I see it working like gangbusters in Colorado, because we have such a strong craft beer market. Just a lot of people who are connoisseurs of beer. And so I believe that there is definitely a market for it, and it's new and it's novel.
10 states and the District of Columbia have legalized recreational marijuana with varying restrictions, and that has encouraged other companies to get into the cannabis beer market. The first was Two Roots in California, but since pot is still illegal under federal law, the products cannot be shipped across state lines. Not so in Canada, where pot is now legal across the nation. Brewers like Molson Coors are investing big time to make pot beer there and expecting sales in the billions of dollars.
What we want is the effect of the cannabis.
Keith Villa sees a day when cannabis beer will be the best way to get high. Well, it's different to say I'm having a marijuana cigarette as opposed to having a beer with the guys.
Well, yeah, anymore, any kind of smoking is really not socially acceptable. And having a beer with cannabis is socially acceptable. You can even toast people with our beers, because in the cannabis world, there are gummies and chocolates, but let's face it, when people are getting married, you can't toast the bride and the groom with a gummy bear.
There may even be wine and whiskey with marijuana instead of alcohol, which could make cannabis the new way to say cheers. For CBS, Barry Peterson, Denver.